Hi and welcome to Insights from Autistic. I'm Arman Khodaei. Today's video is about subconscious actions that I usually see parents making and other people, other adults usually that interact with people with autism that actually reinforce the autistic behaviors in a child or even adult with autism and makes them the way that they are. So I ask you to please share this video with other people because I highly believe that this video will have a very profound effect on you, or on certain people at least, if they get a chance, if the idea fully sinks in. So what I've observed a lot through mostly my support groups, but also in other situations, is parents' actions and what they say, when their child is around, or when talking to their child, or when they're talking to other parents, but their belief systems about their child and how these beliefs are making the child a certain way. And so what I have, sometimes parents will tell me just how awful their autistic child is. Sometimes in front of their child, and they'll be like, wah, 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 my child doesn't talk to the other kids, he's so strange and different, wah, 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 wah. And they whine. Sorry parents, but you guys do whine. And I work with autistic people, and what happens when you whine to me like this, I start to tune it out. There are many reasons for this. First of all, I try not to judge someone by what other people tell me. Even a parent. If a parent says, my child is this way, or a friend says, this person's this way, I don't listen to them. I want to get to know the person for myself, because when someone is saying someone a certain way, we usually put our own perceptions of that person into who they are, which may not be an accurate perception. We might, when we first met such a person, that person could have been having a good day, a bad day. In the case of the parent has known this child since they were a kid, and it's hard as a parent for you guys to get rid of your perceptions of your child as you were as a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old, and you continue to have these perceptions now because they're diagnosed with autism when they're 4, and it's hard to get rid of these perceptions when they're 12 or even 25. And so I just tune out. It's the same with movies. I don't want to be told in movies, like, I want to make up my own opinion about movies. So when someone, asks me to explain a movie, I actually usually refuse to explain. I don't usually go into detail. Or same thing with books. If someone asks me what a person is like, I usually won't go into very much detail. I might say that such and such might like a certain type of movies, whatever, but I won't go, or I might say such and such, is a certain major, or whatever, but I won't go too much into that person, because I want whoever is meeting that person to make up their own mind. And so when the parent, parents, you talk to the teachers, you tell the teachers, my kid is this way from the very beginning. You say, teacher, my kid is this way. Guess what? The teacher believes your kid is this way. Holy crap! How insane is that? You're telling the teacher that your kid is a certain way, and guess what? Your child is going to be, when you tell all the people that your child is this way, people are going to treat your child like they're that way. Yes, it is true. You, in a way, subconsciously, are creating boundaries for your child. You might say, oh, I'm doing such and such, I'm doing all these diets, I'm doing all these therapies, but at the same time, you're like, oh, goodness, I don't see progress. My child is still can't read. My child said something that I think was rude. Oh, my goodness, this child doesn't understand, what proper social etiquette is. Oh, my goodness. My child's never going to get married. Oh my goodness, my child will never have a job. Oh my goodness. And you say these things to other people. You sometimes say it in front of your kids. I see it happen all the time. Guess what? Your child, when you do this, is starting to believe that when you do these things, when you have these actions in front of your child is going to start acting in a way to meet your expectations of what you say they are like. I did this myself with my mom. My mom said I was a certain way. My mom said I was socially retarded. I believed her, and when I was around her, I had that perception about me. Your child will have that perception around them, and I know this for a fact. And you know what happens? Parents tell me that their child is a certain way. I start interacting with their child, and they start doing things that their parents have never seen done. You're like, the parents like, oh my goodness, my child actually sat down for 2 hours straight and didn't get bored. That's the first time that's ever happened in their life. How on earth did you do it, Arman? And you know what? You know how I did it? Because I treated them like a normal person, non-judgmental. That's how I did it, because I saw them for who they are, not for who they once were 20 years ago when they got a diagnosis. You know, if we are to cure autism, we have to cure our perception of autism. We have to look at what we're bringing into the child's life. And so, moving on, you know, I have seen, you know, parents have told me that with me, that their kids have, you know, started talking, you know, started to do things, started to be more social, doing things that they've never done. You know, this could be 12-year-old kids, this could be 25-year-old adults of autism, 30-year-old adults of autism, doing things that they've never done once in their life, because I treated them differently, because I didn't treat them like someone with a disability. And, you know, we say that they have a disability, and guess what? They're going to start acting like someone with this disability. Here is the thing. When we let go of the perceptions, you can see the child through non-judgmental. Well, okay. What I'm saying is this. Your child, like I said, yes, there are autistic traits. But when you let go of those perceptions for just one day, you know, try to see them through fresh eyes. Try to pretend like you never knew your child before. Try to pretend you don't even know what autism is. And then try to interact with your child like a fresh human being, like you never knew who they are. Now, this is a challenge. I know it is. It will take a lot of time. But when you start doing that, things will change. And really, the biggest reason why we have these problems with autism and the way the child is not because the child is wrong for being who they are, but a lot of it has to do with ourselves, as you know, for the parents, you know, with the way that you're perceiving it, and all of it has to do with society. Society is a really big factor in that, unfortunately. Society says, you know, you have to be such and such a way. If you're not such a way, you're wrong, you're terrible, you're an evil person. Well, guess what? Society's wrong about a lot of crap, especially when it pertains to how people should be like. Society knows jack squat. Alright? People are going to be, you know, when we start trying to make ourselves like society, we lose sight of who we are. We do not stay true to ourselves, and we start feeling bad, you know, and you know, we expect, you know, as a parent, you expect your child to be a certain way, and this is going to diminish your child. And so you have to let go of what society says. You know, society's wrong, so let it go. And moving forward, just see your child as being normal, because you know what, your child is trying to, you know, your child is normal. Alright, if they have autistic, that's who they are. They're being normally autistic. There's such a thing as normally autistic. You know, autism is what it is. So, you know, when we accept our child as being who they are, and, you know, love isn't being upset your child for being who they are. If your child is expressing themselves to their fullest ability, you know, by flapping their hands and being obsessed with their toys, and that's who they are. And when you try to, you know, when you can't accept it, now I'm not saying don't try to, you know, do therapies, don't try to help your child out, you know, help your child, you know, become social. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that when you get upset at them, when you cry your head off, when you tell all the other parents, all the other teachers, all the other people just how terrible your child is, that is not love. That is lack of acceptance. Now, absolutely want the best for your child, absolutely. But our subconscious thoughts, our subconscious actions, you know, the things that you say, the things that you're not even aware of, are really actually holding your child back. And you know what? And because of that, you might actually be preventing your child from moving forward into life at a much quicker rate. Because of that. So moving on, this is so at my support, you know, I no longer even call them support groups, and here's the reason why. Because a lot of support groups, they're about parents complaining and moaning and going and saying all these awful things about their children. That is not support group. So that's why I call my groups now empowerment groups, because it's not about the moaning and the complaining. It's about empowering the child, about empowering the parents, making them see the good. So Here's my advice, and this might take some time, but don't complain about your child. You'll only find more things to complain about. You'll only find more things that reaffirm your perspective on autism for them. Accept them for who they are. Look for the positive things in them, whether they are small accomplishments, maybe them saying hi to a kid at school, whatever, things that they have done to make you happy, whatever they are. Just look for the good things in your child, accept them for who they are, and yes, work towards helping them out, being a better person. I thank you for watching this video. I wish all of you a most awesome day of awesomeness, and I ask you to be more aware of your thoughts and actions in the future, because they do determine the course of your child's life.